Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the 500 Miles podcast. I am your host and creator, Adam Relkin, joined by Kevin Mostesto, our normal co-host. And for the first time, we have a special guest also who happens to be joining us today, and that is Henry Kalhoff. Henry, why don't you introduce yourself?
So, for those that know, I own a sim racing team, Caliphate Racing, and we're going to do a race at Talladega. So, looking forward to that. I'm grateful that you two have invited me on, and um, so I've been a lifelong racing fan. Pretty much, I've loved racing ever since I could practically walk when I was like 2 years old. So, racing's been near and dear to my heart, and you know, my doctor has no cure for it. So, I just have a love for racing, and I can't get it out of me. So yeah.
Yeah,
So
our pleasure. Welcome to the show, Henry. I know there's not, we talked about, it's been an off week. Not much has happened in the racing world. I want to lead with, and there's two storylines coming out of those series this week. They're all RCR O'Reilly related. First, Chandler Smith is out of a truck ride, not out of a truck ride. He will not return to the 38 next year. Not confirmed, but per Bob Potters, he will be in a RCR O'Reilly car next season. Personally, I think this is a great move. I think, dare I say, this is the championship favorite next year to see what's really, really good for Dibs in 24. And he won a non-played race with Holland, which is Lawson and Allman have done that, and they both have multiple top wins. So, what do y'all think of this move?
I'll let Henry go first here.
all right. So obviously Chandler more so a I would say kind of a antagonizing guy. He's someone that's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way in the past. I feel that's what's really has affected his career more so is because he has the talent. Of course, he's won races. I think he has what 2 or 3 wins in the secondary series, so he's capable of winning. But his temperament is what has costed him possible opportunities. I think teams are really alienated by how he's worked well with those teams. So
Yeah, I've heard that, but I've heard that behind the scenes. I don't have many inside sources, so I can't verify that's true, but I've heard of that before.
yeah,
Chandler is interesting. And I don't know if I would go as far to say he's a favorite yet, just because he hasn't been an O'Reilly car since 2024. He actually no, that's not true.
He made a couple of
Excuse
starts
me.
this
He
year.
ran in the
But
five for Hedinger this year. Excuse me. But
yes,
uh, but that is an interesting storyline to dig into. I mean, Chandler. I mean, it's interesting that he keeps bouncing around with the money he has because look at it this way. 20 up until 2020 was it 2022 he's
I
with
think he did get
JGR,
Toyota.
and then he goes on to Colleague in 2023, goes back to JGR in 2024, then he goes to Ford for the first time with Front Row Motorsports in 2025. Fun fact I'll give you, this has been mentioned by a few people, he actually almost got the 38 in Cup, I'm pretty sure,
I
instead of
remember hearing
Zane
about that.
Smith. Yeah, he almost got the Cup car instead of Zane Smith with the last minute with him coming in last minute, but ended up going to the truck instead when they launched that up. But and then with him leaving Ford after this year, he's going back to Chevy, and for only the second year of his career, which that's going to be interesting. Kevin, I know you said you had another storyline related to RCR.
Yes, Carson Brown will make his O'Reilly debut for Jordan Anderson in the 32 at Iowa, and he's RCR development driver. I don't know a ton about him, but I've looked at his stats. He's yet to finish off the podium in ARCA, which is
Oh, did we lose?
RCR's high on. Did you lose me?
huh?
Yeah, yeah. So I think that with RCR like that's going to be interesting with Carson Brown. I mean, I feel like that when you look at Lime Rock, I feel like that was an instant clue that he could be in the two car next year because did you all look at the sponsor there
Yes,
on the
we did.
28? It
Yeah,
was Wheelan, and
We did.
I'm like, I mean, I had heard the rumors before that, but I'm like, hold on a second. This feels way too obvious. But That'll be an interesting debut. It's also a Team Dillon management sponsor, DWC. They've been on the 2 and the 21 this year, from both team across Team Dillon. So I do want to get into some of the racing that we did end up seeing this week, which the only NASCAR related race we really got was ARCA East at Flat Rock, which only 150 laps. It took less than an hour to finish. I think the run time was only like 45 minutes. And it was won by Max Reaves, who now extends his point lead in ARCA East to, I want to say, 7 points.
Yeah, 7 points.
So, Henry, talk us a little bit through kind of what you saw from that race.
I think we really saw a lot of people mentioned on Twitter was how Max Reeves and Tristan McKee are not really fond of each other, especially in those last 10 laps or so. They just any chance they got, they just wanted to just go after each other and send each other to the parking lot. So I think one, the respect has been a problem for years. People has mentioned lack of respect in the lower divisions, and so I feel like that was brought up again. It seemed to have died down in the last couple of years, but with those two running with each other and everything, now those teams have plenty of funding, so wrecking car is probably like a penny to them. But let's say if they did that in lap traffic and someone like a club racing car, I mean that'd be super detrimental to them, and that would wipe
And
out
that
most of their plans for the rest of the year. So
and that did nearly happen to them a few years ago in it was 2024 when Chris Wright got into it with Alex Clubb. It almost cost him to scale back to part-time. Yeah, and but yeah, why don't we take a look at some of the results here? There were some pretty notable results and some interesting moments amongst the field that we saw. As we mentioned, Max Reeves won the race, but he almost didn't win. And that had to do with a battle that came up at the very end. He almost lost it to someone that won the title last year but didn't win any races. And that it was Isaac Kitzmiller. He almost broke through and got that first win he's been looking for a while.
That would have been cool to see.
oh yeah, I was really shocked when I saw Isaac get past both of them on the bottom, and I was hoping he'd run away with it because I'm like, Isaac seems to be a really humble person. I'm also been a fan of his dad for the last few years in ARCA, so and I think that was the first time he ever led laps in the series because he didn't lead any laps last year. So I think he led 2 laps, but that was a great run for Isaac, and he's really improved a lot in his results. I know he's not in the points lead like he was last year, but I still feel like when you look at all the results, he's improved in his top fives and top tens. So, and I think he's ran all the laps at this point. So I feel like that's another bonus there.
Yeah, he's showing a lot of speed. He's and Isaac, I mean, the plan is, and we've known this for a while, is that he's going to run full time in the main series, except for Daytona. I don't think he'll be old enough for that. They might let him do what Andres Perez did in was it 2023, where they
Yeah,
let him do a
yeah,
lap in practice they let him do a lap in practice and then withdraw so that he could stay in full-time points. I could see them letting that happen, but
Yeah, that makes
Isaac,
sense.
yeah, Isaac Kitzmiller, he's going to be one to watch. And he could have had it if Tristan McKee didn't get rough with him again there. But,
yeah.
and I want to talk about Tristan McKee a little bit because I'm curious how that's going to impact his starts in the truck series, which I'm going to mention
I
right now.
doubt
I
it
think
will.
it would be good to segue into that briefly.
I I doubt it'll make an impact. I know Spire is really, really high on him, and he has the talent. The talent he has potential. Just he needs to clean it up a little, and once he does that,
Yeah.
he'll be fine.
Yeah, it was announced that he's going to be running Richmond, New Hampshire, Bristol, Phoenix, and I think Martinsville's the last one. All the races he's eligible to run. He actually turned 16 today as we're recording this, I believe.
Well, happy birthday to him.
Yep, happy birthday, Tristan, although this is being released the day after. But some other results here we had, including one of the greatest stories, Matt Kemp. I mean, he's won races at this track before in like local, like smaller divisions. Like, huge shout out to him. And Matt's a great friend of us here. And Henry, you got some thoughts?
I was really happy for Matt Kemp. He's a great guy. I've talked to him before, and so I'm really happy to see him have a great result. And that was the first top five for the team ever, I think. And so it's what really he needs. And I think he really opened up a lot of eyes. I think he also finished on lead lap too. And if the whole Reaves and McKee thing got more intense, where they wrecked each other, then he could have had a chance there. But he did really great, maneuvered traffic really well, and he was running close with Kits Miller at the beginning of the race. So overall, I was really impressed by him. And I hope he can do more races in the future. I feel like he's got a lot of potential, and I hope more teams can look into him and try to have him run more races. I feel like he can definitely contend for wins in the future.
And then we also
Yeah,
had the first top five for Quinn Davis, and this was a run that she really.
that was
I mean,
awesome.
we
That was
talked we
awesome.
talked about it last week too when we were doing IRP, but Quinn Davis getting a top five, another really big run for her, and I'm really glad for that City Garage team. They've improved a lot since last year. And Quinn, I mean, she's a really fast driver. I mean, we'll see how that goes forward, and I hope that same thing with Matt Kemp, the eyes continue to watch and potentially help her get more rides.
Yeah, they're both the real deal.
Yeah, we also had some other notable finishers like Esteban Rodriguez, who came back his first race since I think Nashville. Austin Vaughn finished in seventh, Jackson McLaren eighth, Craig Pellegrini in ninth, and Blaine Donahue. He still finished in 10th despite that late spin at the end. Blaine's another good friend of the show, so I'm happy that he got that top 10 run there. He's also the son of crew chief for Big Machine Racing, the son of Big Machine Racing crew chief Patrick Donahue, in fact. And we also had some other notable finishers like Brian Barbaro in 11th, his first race since Toledo. Bit of a bad day for Jeffrey McZink, though. He had one of the fastest laps, though, of the entire race and in practice, but he kept getting into incidents.
That was a bummer to see. And
Yeah.
he someone has a lot of experience at the track and usually comes out to race at Michigan and at this track too. So it's definitely a bummer to see. And I think he definitely could have gotten a much better result, but we'll never know. But maybe he can try again next year and see if
I
he can do better.
I think he will. He's
I think he
he's
will
like
too.
a home track. He's a home track hero. He's from the area. Like Jeffrey, I mean, this just felt like an out of the blue moment. This is definitely far out of Jeffrey. Definitely something that's just a one in a blue moon thing. Like Jeffrey's not a driver who's like that, so he'll definitely come back stronger. There were some other notables, like the alien car. That was something.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, yeah. Alex Maliki, this was his first start since Flat Rock last year when he finished top 10. But yeah, I know there's been, I know there was an alien car last year too at Bristol, or actually two of them, I think. But yeah, kind of a bit funny to see that on a stock car. I mean, but he kept the car in one piece at the end of the day. And also Carson Brown, I know we talked about him earlier. He seems to be like the Rocket Man of ARCA this year. He's winning poles, but just
He's
not
not
really
winning
able to
races.
win races. The only race he's won is Phoenix. Like, why don't you talk about that a little bit, Kevin?
Yeah, like he has this. Clearly, he has the speed. Clearly, he has talent. Just he's still a very young talent. He like just turned 18. He's just racing auto for the first time this year. I think he's good. Does he needs more time? In my opinion, I think O'Reilly full time would be a little much for him. Given like you're in that 28, you're in that 18, you're expected to win, and he only has one win. And I think he's good. Just I'm because of that, I don't know if he's the best candidate for an O'Reilly seat next year. Maybe get him in a trot next year, part-time O'Reilly.
Yeah, maybe. I think a truck start might be better for him to do first, but and I think there is a chance we could see him in a truck similar to Tristan McKee, but that let's just wait and see. There was also another notable driver in the field I want to mention, Dan Boys from the United Kingdom. I had never heard of this guy before, but he had a really great story. There was a guy who we saw years ago in ARCA who helped him get this ride with Andy Hillenberg. You remember who that is, Henry?
That'd be Arnaud Cock, I believe. I hope I'm saying his name right.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
Arnak Kok from South Africa. We last saw him in 2022. But yeah, he helped get him behind the wheel. Another topic I want to ask you guys. This race, this is the fourth time that we have brought the ARCA East to Flat Rock. Here's a question I have, and it's been 150 miles, but every year it's like taken less than an hour to finish. Like, does that feel very short to you guys? Like, do you think maybe we should extend this race at
yeah,
all?
Yeah,
absolutely. I would say 200 laps be good, maybe 250 since I think Elko's 250. So I would say anywhere between 200 and 250 would be, a good option for
yeah,
Fire
that
Rock.
would make sense. It's so short now that it's like literally you blinked and you missed. That happened to me. I blinked. I didn't even know there was a race, and then I saw, oh, it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like I feel like the race is too short. I mean, I bet Kyle Larson won't be happy hearing us say that it's too short,
Surprised he wasn't in
but
it.
yeah. Good one, Kevin. But but yeah, I mean, I feel like that this race is too short. I mean, I mentioned this last week. We extended the Watkins Glen Cup race, but nobody complained. So like I feel like this one we can get away with too. I feel like that this one is better off being 200 laps. I mean, and again, but I feel like that there may also be a hurdle with that because of tires, but and considering that there's no pit stops at all for the track because it's a quarter mile, maybe they aren't able to do 200. Maybe they could do like 175.
Yeah,
But
was better than not more.
yeah, I just feel like this race is still too short. Maybe we're the only people out there that are saying that the racing is too short, but who knows? Before we actually move on to previewing Iowa, Henry, you're an Iowa guy, so that's why we brought you on for this week. I want to talk a little bit about your experience with iRacing. So, Henry, talk to me a little bit about how this whole team you set up with Michael Deitch came together, and just talk a little bit about your career there.
So I think it began in 2020 with the Pro Invitational Series, and I think it inspired a lot of people. Everyone I've talked with on the team has said, oh, the Pro Invitational Series really inspired me. So, I got on board, and in my first year, I did all these hosts with a friend of mine, and he knew a lot of drivers. So my first ever race, Christian Eckes won the pole for that. So I was already up against competition. So, but it's normal to me. So I've raced against plenty of NASCAR guys before, and so kind of ran my own team by myself for a while, and then late 2023. Michael helped me out with getting a partnership for the team for the 24 Hours Daytona. For the iRacing stuff. And so our friendship grew. And then later that year for 2024, I decided to promote him as co-owner. And we've made a lot of great strides. We've hired a lot of drivers. And now we're on all social media platforms. We're mostly active on Instagram since that's the easiest to gain traction on. We've had a lot of success there. So we have a lot of sponsors, and so overall, I'm really happy for the team's at, and I'm blessed to, call all my teammates, some of my closest friends. So it's really awesome, and so happy to be where we're at. We still have more to improve on, but I'm really happy with where we're at, and I look forward to the foreseeable future. We got a lot of cool stuff to announce in the future. I can't say what it is, but it's all still in the works, and I look forward to announcing it very soon.
Yeah, very great to hear, Henry. And I know this was something that you did about 3 years ago, I want to say. You and a few friends were a winning sponsor in the Arkham and Art series.
Oh yes, that was one of the greatest moments of my life, and I remember it. I remember I was at the kitchen table, I was doing math homework, and Jared Grava, TF56 Design. So he sent me a message, and he's like, hey, Greg's looking for sponsors for Daytona. And so at first I thought it was a joke. Like I thought it was like, oh, we could do this. Like imagine we did it. You've been in that scenario where you're like, imagine I did this. And then, but he was actually serious about it. And so I'm like, so I texted Greg, got the sponsorship deal done in 2 weeks, and you know, I think when he won that race, I think it's the only time that I have collapsed to my knees in absolute disbelief, and that was by far one of my favorite moments of my life right there. And everybody in the Fanta Cup series, that was what was on the car, was our in our league, and so just everybody lost their minds in there, and so that'll forever cherish.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember all of you guys on Discord were getting so excited when it happened. I mean, we all were because Greg Van Al's such a hardworking guy. He's awesome.
That was such a fun that was such a great win to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that honestly was one of the greatest ARCA races of all time, like to begin with. And I also want to ask about the number you run in the iRacing stuff. How did a 63 become a number of yours?
My great uncle did a lot of races in the Midwest, and I've done a throwback to his car. He raced with it was a white car. I forgot what model it'd be. I have a picture of it somewhere, but so he ran the 63 for most of his career. I think he also ran the 35 or 36, one of the two numbers. There's another picture somewhere. I can't find it, but I had it years ago. So I went to 63, and he had Dairy Queen as a sponsor, which I thought was pretty awesome. And so just ran with that because I'm like, I want to honor somebody in my family that also ran the number. And so I've only gotten to meet him once, but yeah, I'm blessed to have met him, and he's still around, and so he's not doing the greatest, of course, but even though he's at an age where it's hard to remember stuff, he remembers everything about racing. Like you ask him about anything else, he won't remember too well. But you ask him about racing, and he will remember like that. He'll remember his snap of a finger. So he's raced most tracks here in Iowa. I think probably most well known one would be Eldora, I would say. So overall, I'm really blessed to have carried his number for all these years, and I don't plan on changing that.
Yeah, and I got one more question about the racing side with you. I know in the past you've mentioned you've wanted to eventually get into racing ARCA. Like, is that still a goal you want to go through with in the future?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just a lot of things. It's more so the bridge to get there. Like, because I'm probably at the age now where toy race development's not gonna be like, hey, we want you to drive our cars. So I'm probably past that point, but I'm gonna go with sort of a step by step process. I don't want to get into racing at like 20, do a couple races, and then I'm broke again because it'll take longer to go back into racing, I would say, than to just slowly build up to a point where you had that sort of safety net, where even if you have a wreck or two, you can still bounce back and be there the next week. So I can't really say publicly what the details are, but I hope if everything goes accordingly that I can try to do some real life racing in the next few years, and I look forward to it, and hopefully all that works out. And I've told many people before that all the hard work that goes into that from point A to point B is whenever I take the green flag for Daytona. Whenever that happens, no matter the outcome of the race, I've known that what I've wanted to do in life has been completed, and so I look forward to that, and I hope to get to experience it. I don't know when. It could be when could be next year if I win the lottery. It could be when I'm 80 years old like Benny Chastain. Who knows? So, but I hope that many people get to live out their dreams because we only get to live once, and make your life big. Make an impression. Do what you want to do, And even if people say that dreams are unrealistic, there's I guess it involves a lot of luck and having people believe in you because I've done it myself many times, but there's always people that believe in me, and that's what's really has kept me going and chased my passion. So we will see where that goes, but just gonna take one day at a time to build towards that. So there you go.
All right.
Before
So,
we switch gears, I have a question for you, Henry.
All right.
You mentioned you've raced against actual NASCAR drivers. What is the craziest story you have about that?
Oh gosh. Okay. Let me think about this. Okay, so I would say, trying to think of the craziest one because I've raced against a lot. I'll tell the most embarrassing one. So I was doing a hosted with a few friends, and I want to say it was Dean Thompson. So I think I lost a pack somehow because I was like, it was like my first year sim racing, and I had no race skill whatsoever. So I lost a pack, and this was at the iRacing Surface, which is a 3 mile track. It's the Ayrton, the iRacing version of the Coca-Cola Super Speedway from Ayrton 3. And I ARCA braked into everybody under caution. I'm not proud to say that, but it happened. And yeah, not my fondest moment.
all right. Yeah, that's a shame, but you move on from it and you learn from it and you don't do it again. So why don't we
Yeah.
move on to now previewing Iowa this weekend? As we mentioned, the Cup Series, O'Reilly and Trucks all had an off week. Uh, we're gonna start from bottom to top, like how we kind of usually plan to do. We're gonna start with probably talking about. I'm actually gonna switch to the ARCA West at Portland briefly. We don't have an entry list. We don't even have a pit box yet, so we don't really have a clear idea of all the entries. Probably will be around maybe higher teens, low
I know
20s in
I
car
know Ryan
count.
Baldwin is racing.
Ryan, yeah, Ryan Vargas.
He's
We'll
doing the
get to him in a
triple.
second. We'll get to him in a second. But there'll be some notable road ringers out there like Jeff Anton, and there's another guy debuting there, Ethan Tovo, one of the Tovo twins that runs in Trans Am. I think he just turned 16, but we'll see how that goes. I believe Sam Corey is also returning for that race. He won the last ARCA West race at Sonoma. We also had, but yeah, we also have some other guys that you'll probably expect to see there, like what's his name? I know Austin Varco is coming back. He debuted at Portland last year. He'll be back again. Uh, but yeah, Vargas, he'll be in the 77. Kyle Keller will be in the 4 again. Those are some of the entries we do know about. We don't have a pit box yet, though, unfortunately, so we won't really be able to talk about it that much. But Vargas will be doing something that has not ever been done before, and
And
we'll
he's
talk
running
about that in a
he's running
second.
Alta East, and Alta West. Alta West is doing Portland. Alta and Alta East will be with us at Iowa.
Yep, and let's get into that now. So we're expecting a pretty big entry list based on the amount of entries that we're getting. So, for example, in that race, we'll have uh, we'll have probably high 20s, maybe even 30. I mean, I've heard some varying things, varying car counts on that, but we could probably talk about some of the things that we have in the pit box so far. I mean, like for example, Jade Avedissian is returning. Gavin Bushell will be back. Uh, Ty Fredrickson, who's actually racing for a brand new team in the ARCA Menard series. Uh, it's Team 36, I think that's what it's called.
Yes, that'd be correct.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll be running the 90. It is their own car, but in a partnership with Nitro's going to be helping them. It sounds like they're using the owner points from the 90 from Daytona and Phoenix. I believe their plan is to do about 4 races I saw. It's Iowa, Bristol. I can't remember the other two.
Madison was one of them, and I think Salem was the fourth one.
That sounds about right.
But do correct me if I'm wrong.
That sounds about right. And then Andy J will be returning. Glad he's coming back.
We always great to see Andy.
Yeah, Andy Jankowiak. I mean, I'm from New York, so I got to root for him. But we'll see how that ends up going. I believe I believe there are some other notable guys that I think I saw are running. I'd have to check again later, but if only they did the entry list the same day as Cup and O'Reilly. That
Yeah,
would
that'd
make
be
things a
nice.
lot easier. But why don't we pivot now to O'Reilly? Because that entry list got dropped about an hour ago as of recording this. There are
Yeah, and
37 cars. Say that again?
there's a few interesting storylines on this entry list. Like you said, there's 37 cars. We have a short field.
Yeah,
RSS's
yeah,
38 will not be in the field. We talked
yeah.
about Brown's debut, but David Lemke will also make his debut in the DGM number 91. I know he raced for Reaves at Was he Nashville?
Uh,
Yes.
Yeah,
that sounds about right.
I know he took a couple of years off, but he's back at the track now. It'll be Maggio with him at DGM in the 92.
Yep. Tyler Tomasi in the 53 again. First starts in
Dayton
Chicagoland.
and we'll have Joey Dace in the 55.
Yep.
Carson
Home
will,
track.
yeah. I know he did the
Yep.
Cup race last year. I was kind of surprised to not see. I'm sorry to jump in the Cup, but I was kind of surprised to not see Dace in the 66 on the entry list for Cup.
We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, some other entries like Nathan Bird in the 42, him again. Also Nick Sanchez in 87 again, glad he's back. But also Ross Chastain, this is his last start of the year in the O'Reilly series. This is I'm pretty sure even the last race that Cup guys could even do. I don't think they can do the regular season finale at Daytona.
Yeah, I don't think they can either.
Yeah, I don't think so. So that's what we'll be seeing there. There was one entry that I'm a bit unsure about because that did not end up entering because on his website, Daniel Dye, if you went to Daniel Dye's website, he was listed to be running Iowa until maybe yesterday or the day before. His website now instead has Daytona next for him and O'Reilly. So I don't know what that deal was.
Yeah, I have no lead on that.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what's going on with that, but he was apparently supposed to run this race, so maybe that was the 38th entry.
I believe it was, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly what happened with that, but we'll see what ends up happening. So we can now talk about the Cup Series a little bit. It's just the 36 normal entries, but there was one that I thought was going to enter. Joey Gase had posted on social media that he was going to be running the Cup race again at Iowa.
And
I
there's
don't
no
know
Joey
exactly.
Dace. I know NBM got that disqualification in the Truck Series. Maybe that's why.
I don't think so. It was only
I'm,
like a $5,000 fine.
listen, I don't have a source on
It
that.
costs it costs
Spitballing.
so much more. It costs so much more to run Cup than that. Like,
Yeah,
I guess it was probably sponsorship, but I mean, don't quote me on
probably.
that, but that's probably the most likely reason why Gase would not be running a cup would be for sponsorship purposes. He probably couldn't find a
yeah.
sponsor because last year he had that deal with, well, I don't know if it was with Hulu or King of the Hill. I'm not sure if,
I miss
Hulu.
that car.
Me
Yeah.
too.
That was
A nice
that
car.
was the best car of the year.
Definitely. That was
Right.
such
That was
that
the
was
best
such a
car of the
cool
year.
car.
Yeah.
And I remember was it Dave Burns who did the Hank Hill voice on the during practice?
I don't
That's
remember, but he might have.
Yeah, and then Carl Long was doing the voices too on the radio throughout
Yeah.
the race.
that's so
Yeah.
fun.
I did see that.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was something that was really interesting, but with a little bit of time left, we can maybe make some race picks. Uh, so I'm gonna start. Cup. I'm not sure who I'm gonna go with for this. This is a bit tricky.
I can start if you don't
Uh,
have anyone.
yeah, you can start.
I think Blaney runs back because Ford's hot right now. Blaney was really good here last year. Give me Blaney then. Oh, Blaney didn't win
You
last.
know what?
Blaney didn't win last year. Edit this
But he
out.
won the year before.
Yeah,
But you
Blaney
know
won.
what? I think
Blaney won 2024.
yeah. I'm
Blaney won
actually gonna
2024. I think he wins it.
I'm actually going to go Blaney too, now thinking about that. What about you, Henry?
All right. So I'm gonna go with another Ford, but not with Blaney. I think with how well he ran last year, I feel like he probably has that sort of motivation to be a little bit better. I'm gonna say Brad Keselowski wins his first race of the year.
I could see it. I
I
mean,
can see
he
it too.
was really good at Iowa last year. He ran like top five all day. So I could see it.
I
All
remember
right.
when he took the lead, like the fans like all went crazy when I don't know who he passed for the lead, but like all the fans were so happy to see him like take the lead. And then nobody I don't think there was any fans that cheered when Byron won. So I think a lot of us were in for Keselowski to win that day.
Yeah.
I'd love to be proven wrong and for Brad to get the win.
Yeah.
All right. Schedule wise, we have a few schedule rumors that I want to bring up. The rumors are that Darlington, Gateway, and Bristol are out of the chase, and that New Hampshire, Richmond, and Watkins Glen are in the chase. Well, Watkins Glen we already know is going in the chase. Dover will be a points race again. That was written by Jordan Bianchi. All these are from him. North Wilkesboro will be the All-Star race again, which is a bit disappointing.
Yeah, I'm not thrilled with that. Like I would have liked to see it back at Charlotte as I'm very strongly in the Crown Jewel track should not have two races and the nowhere should have two races camp. I wish Charlotte got they also racing without a Wilkesboro points race.
Yeah, and then also here we have San Diego going in August, which that
I
doesn't
don't
feel as prestigious.
I don't know if I like San Diego coming back. Like it was a good race, but it felt really special for the 250 years. I don't know if it'd be as special if it runs it back.
Yeah. Yeah, and apparently NASCAR is aware of that possibility, but we'll see. And then another thing Bianchi mentions that it's going to be probably the last slot on the schedule is going to probably be down to either Chicago or Chicagoland, which apparently will be likely in June following the Coke 600 as part of Amazon Prime's schedule. And then there is also, unfortunately, an uncertain future on Rockingham,
That
especially with all
stinks.
the IHRA fallout.
That stinks. I'm not that's not good news. I like the
Yeah.
races at Rockingham. I hope something
So,
happens and we can save it, but other than
so
that,
NASCAR or SMI, I think you guys should probably try to swoop in and buy it, I feel. And Legacy Motor Club has a list of new celebrity owners. Some of the notable ones include Bryce Harper, which I imagine he'll be more busy dealing with racing because there's probably going to be a lockout next year in baseball. And also Scott Dixon. That one is probably going to scare off someone who took a jab at him over his NASCAR comments. I imagine you guys know what I'm talking about.
if
Yeah.
we do,
Yeah, but unfortunately, uh, but yeah, I do hope it does result in Dixon running a race just so that
me
could
too.
quell those things that he doesn't like NASCAR.
Well,
But
hopefully he doesn't nap during stage one if he does race.
so I did not expect the timer to go out because I'm not using a Zoom Pro account, but we did have an intermission unintentionally this week. But we're back for just a little bit here. Uh, but But again, with the whole Legacy Motor Club owners, like, do you guys have some thoughts on that?
I have heard
Nothing.
of a few names. One of them, my best friend Aaron, trying to remember the band name, but Darius Rucker, I think it's Hootie and the Blowfish. I don't know if you've heard the band, but
Yeah.
he's one of the investors. So we listen to his music sometimes. So that was pretty awesome to hear that too. And gosh, trying to think, there's another person. There's another country singer that we listen to. I can't remember his name, but he's also investor. I'll have to look into it later. But I thought it was really awesome to see all those celebrities get into being investor for Legacy Motor Club. I thought that's really an awesome thing to see.
And what about you, Kevin?
I think it's interesting because I know McLaren has had ties to Hendrick. Sometimes I was surprised seeing Tony Kanaan and Scott Dixon as investors. Dario does not surprise me at all, but Dixon and Tanan kind of did.
Well, we'll see exactly where it all ends up going.
Definitely.
Jimmy's trying to have a lot of people invest in this team. I mean, he's been doing this since 2023. I mean, he's brought on a lot of different personnel and
I know Nighthead came on a couple of years ago.
yeah, Nighthead, they also represent Tom Brady, I think.
That sounds right.
Yeah, that's why there were all the rumors was it last year or the year before of Tom Brady and Jimmy Johnson putting together a
Indy 500
Indy
and Truth
500
Area.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why there were all those rumors. But
Yeah.
we also have some other. There actually was one other thing that maybe we could actually touch base on, just because we ended up coming back for a brief moment. Carson Hocevar had a rant about the broadcasting of the races today, which I found interesting. Do you guys have thoughts on that?
Kevin wants to know on rant about it too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just not gonna give any shout outs, but there in particular there's one network that is just embarrassing our sport and is making us not look good whenever they're airing races. There's no chemistry in their booths. There's no quality camera work, and it's just like I'm a diehard and I'm struggling to get through some of their races. It's just like it's every race. There's something new, something new, and it's really aggravating and insulting as a race fan.
Yeah, I imagine that's what Hocevar's comments were directed at. I mean, but I feel like there may have been, but at the same time, I don't think that he was directing comments at Amazon Prime or NBC or TNT, because the three of them, they've been putting out quality broadcasts. I know
And
TNT,
PW's been awesome for O'Reilly too.
yeah, I know TNT is still getting there. I mean, they were better than last year, but they're gonna get better. They're gonna get better as
Yeah.
time goes on because TNT is like being produced by just themselves, I think.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case. Um,
And like
and-
other
Good.
networks make mistakes, but like with the one we're talking about, it's like mistakes to the standard with one of the networks that broadcast our sport.
Yeah. And Henry, you had some comments?
Yeah, I feel like I do agree that most of the major networks like NBC, CW have done an excellent job. I've really enjoyed their broadcasts. They have great commentators that seem incredibly invested into the actual racing and they want to be there at the track. And I think what Hocevar is aiming at is probably, Fox, since that's been sort of the butt of the joke for commentary. Mike Joy, I love Mike Joy. He's been kind of the voice of NASCAR to me, but he has his moments. And
Remember that Keyboard Warriors line from a few years ago?
That was hilarious though.
That was
And
pretty funny.
also, yeah, and also the what was it? The a dumpster fire, was it a dumpster fire is not contained when he was talking about
Yeah,
the
that
O'Reilly
was
race at
good.
Martinsville.
That was
And
good.
and then this year at Talladega when he went after Stephen A. Smith over the NASCAR drivers aren't athletes thing.
yes,
He's really funny. He still has it.
Yeah,
Just
and I
yeah,
was like,
absolutely.
there's
Mike
no
Joy
chemistry
is
in that
Mike
box.
Joy is not the issue with Fox for the record.
Yeah.
No,
There's no chemistry in that booth. Just I think at least at the top you either gotta get rid of Harvard or get rid of Boyer because clearly that combination isn't working.
I would
Well,
say, from my observation, when Boyer and Gordon were in the booth together, they seem to click really well. And they would, reminisce about when they would have their conflicts like at Phoenix. And they seemed to do really well. And so the broadcast in 2021 was really good for Fox, but
I
when
like
Gordon
2021.
left and Harvick came out, Harvick,
They just don't click.
no, Harvick just seems really bland. Like he's just there to get paid,
Yeah.
pretty
yeah,
much, and to promote his
he's
podcast.
he's better off doing the Happy Harvick thing and
Yeah.
Speed. I mean, there are other people I would rather see in that booth. I mean, Jamie McMurray.
That movie's incredible.
I mean, he still does
With
pre-race with Chris
O'Reilly.
Myers,
I'd love to
and
see.
also what's his name? Phil Parsons. Why is he not in the
Yeah,
truck booth anymore?
I don't know. He's he's really good. I really like him.
Uh,
Yeah.
The truck booth needs something. Just like
Well, they've got something. I mean, they've started to get Eric Brennan and Brent Stover.
Brennan, they Jamie Little is a great pit reporter. She is incredible at that. Just she does not have it as a play-by-play and has not really improved since she started. It's
Yeah.
it's it's not good for any party that she's the one who's doing it. It's just like it's every race that there's something. Remember, like it was on the White Flag Lab at IRP when she was like, about to call Chandler Smith home. Then she taught herself and was like, Chandler Smith running in fourth, and I was just like, it's, it's I'm sure it's really difficult to do play by play. I couldn't do it.
yeah.
Just,
Yeah, it is. I mean, it
oh,
definitely is. I mean, it takes. I mean, Eric Brennan on DBC once said he went to like a broadcasting school for like weeks or months, I think he said. Like,
yeah, I
it's
think
like, so
so.
that stuff takes a while to really train
Yeah.
yourself into. And,
It's
but
getting
yeah, I
to
mean, I
there's
noticed Michael Waltrip does a lot better when he works with Eric and Brent.
yeah, I've noticed that too.
So, like, I wouldn't say he really is the issue because he can do great when he is working with someone like Brent Stover or Eric Brennan.
He's not
And
the issue, but I wouldn't hate not seeing him in the booth every race going forward.
yeah, but yeah, you guys excited for Lee Diffie again this week?
Yes, he's my favorite commentator.
Jeff,
Well,
your little boy has done
Done
it.
it. Harrison Burton wins Daytona.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Lee Diffie is the greatest. But out besides Mike Joy, Lee Diffie might be the greatest play-by-play commentator we got right now.
I think he is the best we have right now.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, do you got any other storylines from this week coming into next week?
Nothing really, but since we're on extra, I was hoping to maybe pit O'Reilly.
You know what? We can go back and pick O'Reilly.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll take
I don't really
Mayor's
have one right
undefeated.
now though.
Mayor's undefeated here. I'll take him again.
You could go with him. I
I will
mean,
though.
what about you, Henry?
You know, this weekend, I just remembered this. Sammy Smith's doing a really special paint scheme at Iowa honoring Michael and
Oh
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so really
I'd like
beautiful
to see.
paint
I'd love
scheme.
to see that tall win.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's gonna be
I'm
my
so
pick.
happy.
Yeah.
So you think Sammy Smith will get it done?
Yeah, I think I don't think he's won that Iowa before, but I feel like at some point he has to. Like at some point, I feel like he's not the best driver, but I feel like he's got to win as home track. I thought this would be really cool.
Which is so good this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. I mean, Carson Quapple just won. I mean, Justin
Yeah,
Allgaier's
there
won a
you go.
massive amount of races. Ross won Charlotte. I mean,
SVG
some of the
got
other Cup guy. Yep, SVG won. I mean, I think at some point he should probably get a win too, and I think
yeah.
Raza will get one too as well at some point. I mean, he's running the 88 for the rest of the year.
I think he
And
should
then we
win.
got yeah, and then we got some other things that may come up. But I'm thinking Iowa. Uh I'm gonna actually go yeah, this is a difficult one. My thinking, do I want to do a JRM car? But like, do I want to do a maybe a Toyota this week? But I'm gonna go Ross. Like I think he's gonna win Iowa. I mean think of it this way. I mean it's the last race Cup guys can run. I mean it's his last O'Reilly race of the year. I mean he's gonna probably try to go out on a high note.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and Ross came close to winning a few others. I remember Dover, that was one he came close to winning.
Dover
Uh
could have won. Indy he could
yeah.
have won.
Yeah, there were a lot that he definitely had a shot at, so I'm gonna go Ross. And And on the ARCA side, I'm not sure who I can go with. because Reaves has never run Iowa. Neither has Tristan McKee or Carson Brown.
I'll take Brown.
You'll go with Carson Brown?
Yes.
Yeah. And Iowa's a very different kind of short track. Like it's a much larger one than the IRPs or the Elkos for the ARCA guys. So I'm not really sure here. Couldn't maybe a guy who's better on intermediates could get it done, but this one I really don't know. I'll let you pick first, Henry, if you want.
I feel like of all the drivers that are entering, I feel like Annunziata's probably got the best chance. I feel like that will help him finally get to the points lead after being hindered from his incidents at the super speedways. That has cost him the points lead. So I feel like Annunziata, he ran here last year in the Xfinity car, so he has experience. Obviously, the Xfinity car is different. Okay, O'Reilly car is different from the ARCA car. However, experience is experience, and I think of Iowa as a upscaled version of Richmond and has more, I would say, progressive banking to a degree. So I kind of think of it that way. So I think that's probably somewhere that Nunziata can really have the upper leg over everybody else. Like the three guys you mentioned that never ran there before, like Reaves and McKee. So we'll see where he'll stack up in that regard.
I'm thinking now thinking of it, I'm gonna go Tristan McKee because I'm now thinking I'm gonna go with him because Pinnacle Racing, they won this race last year, so they definitely can go back and look at those setups they used with Butterbean. So I'm curious about that. I think McKee
It's
could
been a
get it
race.
done. I imagine he's also been doing a lot of sim time for Richmond because Iowa and Richmond are very similar tracks, and he's debuting at trucks there. So because of that sim time, he may try using it for ARCA at Iowa. So I'm actually thinking I'm going to go Tristan McKee for this one.
All right.
Good pick.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll see where that ends up going. I'm not going to do ARCA West Portland picks because we don't know enough about the entries there. So, you guys got any other storylines?
Well, I'm good. Henry, are you good?
Yep. I don't believe I have anything else to inform. So,
Well, Henry, thanks for coming on the show. To the
yeah,
listeners, thank you again for listening, for the first time listening to us.
yeah.
And we'll be back same time
Yep.
next week.
Yeah, I appreciate
Uh,
you guys inviting me, and I look forward to this watch this episode again. And if y'all need a guest again, just let me know, and I'll see if I'm available. Not always guaranteed, but I do appreciate you guys very much for inviting me on, and so I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, so next week will probably be a much longer episode again because we will be discussing what ended up happening in all the races at Iowa and Portland, and also discussing what's next at Richmond after that. So it's going to be an interesting weekend at Iowa. We got 750 horsepower on these cars, so we'll probably have some better racing out there, and hopefully we'll come out with a fun winner. And guys, I know there's also supposed to be a second episode called a pit stop that will drop later this week. There will be a pretty big guest that we'll be talking with. I will reveal that when I feel the need to. So I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this episode or watching, depending on if you're on YouTube or Spotify. So I will see you guys all next episode on 500 miles, and hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. And let's get out to the Midwest and Iowa.